Shay family. This is Edwin Rose, aka Amon Rose, aka the Conscious Cowboy, aka the Las Vegas Cowboy. Hey, I just wanted to do a little documentation, a little quick telltale about these last few months. I've been doing, and I'm only speaking on Uber Eats. I can't speak on Uber rides. I don't know. I haven't done any. Um, I am funny about people being in my car. So I haven't done it. I'm thinking about doing it. I don't think I will. Hopefully something, solid comes along before I get to the point where it's like, all right, man, I need to make more money. I'm gonna go do Uber rides. Um, but I want to talk about my experience with Uber Eats. Uh, so let's dive right into it, man. So first thing first, the onboarding is kind of lackadaisical. Um, they're and I'm currently doing Uber Eats, so let's be clear. And I probably won't post this for a few weeks, and just make sure that I don't want nobody upset because I heard you do get strikes. I heard that you can get fired from being an Uber driver, so it is what it is. Um, I the onboarding is kind of elementary. It's kind of um, it doesn't break down a lot of stuff. It doesn't give you a good tutorial on how to use the app. But it is easy. I will say that nothing has been hard. It's just been, for me, it's been more, what do I do in this situation? What do I do when you tell me to go pick up um, an item from Checkers? I go to the location and I'm in a residential neighborhood. What do I do? So, of course, you got to call, you got to let them know, they'll fix it. I don't know how that happens because I will say this: their GPS system is way better than your regular Google Maps and stuff like that. Um, there are flaws because apartments and housing communities that are close to each other, they'll have you go in to the housing community when you're supposed to be over here and be like, "Oh, it's right there." Like, no, dude, I gotta go back out, go around, find an interest in here, and go back to this location. So it's good, but it's also some mistakes in it. Um, but other than that, as far as using an app, what to do when somebody you got their food, you pick it them up, and you get a notification that the order is canceled. What do you do? I had to stop and call people like, "Hey, what do I do? Do I take the food back? Do I?" It's like, "Nah, you can trash it or you can keep it or whatever the case may be." So I'm like, "Wow, all right, it is what it is." Um, Other than that, it is relatively easy. I will say because I do have a safety background, um, I will give you my suggestions on what they should do. Um, Picking up people's private and personal belongings, I think the bag or the box should be in a locked suitcase, aka locked luggage, or the bag has to have two zippers and a padlock on it. And the other person either has the combination, you don't have the combination, therefore that way you cannot enter the bag. All restaurants, the bags should be sealed and tied up. And this is to help Uber. This is my suggestions to Uber what they should be doing. And when you guys notice these things, take pictures of them. So I delivered somebody's look like an overnight bag to a hospital. 4 days later, 3 days later, they're calling me talking about the item is missing. I'm like, "Man, I don't even know who you are." So the lady called me. The lady called me. And I was like, "Man, I don't even know what you're talking about." I said, "Hold on. Yeah, that was like Thursday." She was like, "No, no, no, today." I was like, "No, no, I'm the guy that brought you your bag Thursday. Remember the nurse was in there and I came in?" She was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 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 that's the wrong driver. I'm talking about today." I'm like, now, That day I didn't go Ubering because it was raining. I'm like, I'm not getting out there in that rain. I'm not doing all that shit. I'm like, man, I haven't even did a delivery today. Now, I had a big issue with that. Now, my issue was, why are y'all giving them my information? First thing first, I'm an independent contractor. This stuff should be set up to where it protects me. I'm your, I'm working for you, right? You should have this shit set up where, hey, if you're going to deliver a bag, make sure the bag is locked. Everybody flies. Everybody goes on road trips. Everybody got luggage in their house. So, and I know everybody has those little bitty combination locks. I don't need to know the combination lock. I think, I mean, y'all should see my garage. I got my wife has bags all over the wall. I'm pretty sure I can grab one of these bags and it'll have two zippers where you can put a. And I'm and I didn't plan this, right? Let me see if my this is my backpack. Okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. My backpack. It has two zippers. You put your property in here, two zippers. You take it, and that's what it's for. And you lock it up. That way, nothing gets lost. Nothing falls back onto us. Now, I'm saying all this to guys to say this to you guys as well. Whoever sees this, if you guys ever want to start a union, I'm down. Because let me explain something further to you. This is a big hustle. This is a big hustle. Delivering stuff like this, it's a big hustle. Because let me break it down for everybody out there. Now, unfortunately for me, I don't have an EV, electric vehicle. I don't have a small vehicle. I am driving a Dodge Durango. Um, so I'm not getting the greatest gas mileage out of these trips. I tried to do all of that. I tried to make sure I'm paying attention to the miles. I'm trying to make sure I'm paying attention to the cost versus the miles and all this other stuff. But it really doesn't matter because for me, I want the bigger trips. I want the $7 and up trip. If it ain't $7 and up, I don't want it. I understand a lot of people will say, "Hey, well, you got to make sure the miles is this and make sure the miles is that." I get that. I had a trip that was a 6 mile trip that took me 55 minutes to make. Why? Because of traffic. Why? Because it was downtown. Why? Because it was literally on all surface streets and I caught every light. And I could break that down and show it to you guys. It was a 6 mile trip. It was a $12 pickup delivery, but it took me almost an hour to deliver, 58 minutes. I could have done 10, I could have done two trips that was 16 miles away, jump on the freeway, boom, 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 in the time that it took me to make that one trip for $12. If I'd have took two trips for eight, nine, $10, I'd have doubled my money. But it doesn't come like that. It's not. It's There's going to be no way that you're going to have a system where you can pick the trips. I mean, you can pick the trips. You can pick your trips. But I'm telling you, you're going to pick a trip and be like, I shouldn't have picked it. I should have did that. Oh, goddamn. Can I cancel that trip? Like I will count and then it's so crazy because they'll give you an address and you see the address and it's like Las Vegas Boulevard. All right, cool. I'll go pick up something off of Las Vegas Boulevard. Then you click it, you click yes to it. You're like, yeah, go to the hotel such and such and such and such. I'm not going. I'm not parking, walking around looking for some shit. I don't know these shopping malls like that. I don't know these hotels like that. I personally don't like to park my car and look for some shit. Search for some shit. I gotta find parking. That should be more time. That now we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this shit, right? So, like I said, this is a big hustle. Uber, Ubering is a big hustle. Let me tell you why. Because these companies, the companies that are using you to deliver the food, not Uber, the companies that are using you to deliver the food are saving on purchasing a vehicle, gas, maintenance, insurance. Those are the four major, right? Those are the four major. Okay. They're not paying for the vehicle, which could average anywhere from, let's just say a low car. A new car, anywhere right now, 15 to 20,000. That's a one-time thing, right? But the maintenance on that car, the tires, the oil, the any little sounds and creaks and stuff that happen during the course of you driving the car, the scrapes and bumps, getting the car wrapped. We're not going to even talking about getting the car wrapped and detailed and all that stuff, keeping it up. We're going to just say maintenance, right? Then the insurance on that car. That's something every month. And most of these companies usually have 4 or 5 cars. So the insurance on the cars, you know, and then now the fuel, because that's the big part right there is the fuel. You know how much money the last company I worked for, I think we had 22 vehicles. Our fuel was $4 million for 1 year. We had 22 vehicles. Our fuel was $4 million in 1 year. Now, essentially, you're working for Uber or you're an independent contractor for Uber, but let's look at it as a supply and demand. So Uber is using us to supply someone's demands. Okay, so there's 3 people in this transaction. There's Uber, there's the restaurant, which we already talked about how much money we're saving them, and then there's the customer. So the customer we'll talk about last. So let's go. We talked about the restaurants or the person that's having you, the entity that's having you to do the delivery. We're saving so much money for them. Then Uber, we're making so much money for you because I went to do a pickup at I don't like doing food. I don't like doing food. Some people's food I like doing, but I try to stay away from as much food as possible. But it is what it's Uber Eats. Um, but I used to always click on the opportunities and hit up Lowe's. I like the bag foods. I like Albertsons. I like grocery stores and stuff like that. I like Walmart, where everything is going to be scanned, tied up, sealed, and I don't like doing people's drinks because the tops can pop off. I had one dude drink the coffee was so hot when I picked it up, the whole damn side of it just split and leaked out in my shit. They're not gonna pay. They're not gonna pay for that cleanup, and I gotta smell that stinky shit. So I delivered the shit to him. I said, "Hey man, this thing is so hot. I didn't even know what to do." I let him know though. I said, "Hey man, that coffee cup split. You know, it is what it is." Um, and I went straight to the car wash and washed my shit out. But they're not gonna pay for that. So dealing with the Uber, I think it should be per trip. I don't care how much the taxi is. I don't care how much the tally is. They should be hitting you up. This is why I say you guys need to unionize. Uber should be a minimum hitting you up per trip a certain amount of dollar. Period. Period. It doesn't matter if they just ordered a burrito. The drives are $3 a ride. It doesn't matter. Hey, restaurants. These guys are giving you guys great service, saving you guys millions of dollars a year. The minimum should be $3. Now, we're talking about the customer now. I get it. Hey, man, I only ordered a Sprite. I I had a dude order a big gulp. I went, but it was a $10 fee. When I saw it, it said $10, 7-Eleven. I hit it. It was just a big gulp. It was just a big gulp, family. So, since sometimes you guys can be lazy, sometimes we understand it's going to be something big and major. Minimum $3. Okay, so and that's a minimum. That's minimum. That's what it's going to be. As soon as you click on the app, everybody across the board should be $3, $3, $3. It should be $9. Now that covers all the cheapskates out there. That covers everybody that wants to be cheap. But now each company. Each each entity should be able to tip the driver more than $3. Each entity should be. We are independent. We're independent. We don't work for nobody, but we're working for three people. We're working for three companies. We're working for Uber. We're working for the restaurant or the company or the person, and then we're delivering it off to the customer. Y'all get that? So technically, we're saving three people. We're making money for three people. We're saving time and energy and stuff like that for three entities. And if they just minimally charged, each one of them gave the driver $3, everybody would be happy. That's $9 a trip. I don't care about the miles. I don't care about the miles. Keep it in a good radius. Keep the shit in a good radius. Don't send me now. And that's why I take the big. That's why I take the big dollar ones, right? $15 one. I'll go pick up something at plant at Plant Power up here off of Craig, right? I have I have delivered food from Plant Power on Craig all the way out there behind the M, and the dudes give me extra money. It's a $15 delivery fee. Oh shit, cool. Go out there, then I get another $10 tip. Oh, okay, cool. This is how it should be. That's why I take the bigger orders. I don't like $3. $3 for what? $3 for what? That's not going no. $3, $4, $5. No. That makes no sense to me. Let the dudes on the bikes and the motorcycles and shit like that grab that real quick and they can zip, 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 zip and do $3 all day. When I start my shit, that's $3. And like I said, I'm coming from like I said, I drive a Dodge Durango. I'm coming from a situation where every 2 days I need gas. So whatever I make one day, today is Monday. Whatever I make Monday goes into my gas Tuesday because I'm gonna need gas tomorrow. Now, once I fill my tank up uh, tomorrow, and I'll try to do it at the end of the day, hopefully I can get Wednesday, Thursday out the way, and I won't need gas till Friday. You guys understand that? So every 2 days. So if I have to fill up, let's just say I have to fill up. Um, let's just say I fill up today. Fill up today. Go Uber it. And Wednesday I'm gonna need gas. It's no way with no ifs, ands, buts about it. I'm gonna need gas. So like I said, every other day that money that all that day goes to gas. So it just depends on what week it falls on. Like if I needed gas right now, and then I need to have money for gas today. Wednesday I need to have money for gas, and then Friday I'm gonna need money for gas. So I'm filling up 3 times a week. And I would say this to anybody that's new. If you catch this, if you're new, if you have a truck, don't do Uber Eats. Um, because now, like I said, you gotta try to figure out a way to make the most money in the least time. Because if you're out there 11 hours a day, like some of these people get up, some of these, and I'll tell y'all this positive light about Uber. I've met some interesting people Ubering, and I also what I do is I take my resume with me, and when I deliver to construction sites and shit like that, I'm popping my resume out there. So I'm using Uber Eats as a networking system. So um, I have met some interesting people. So I will just say that's a positive about it. Even not even the work aspect. And I got people telling me, "Oh man, yeah, I made $300." I'm like, "You made $300? How many hours were you out, doing that?" "Oh, I did 11 hours." Now I'm gonna say this to you: Uber does not calculate your idle time. So when you do a drive, while you're driving, they'll they'll calculate your time. Like I can be gone for 8 hours and I'll look at my Uber app and it'll say I only worked like 6 hours because there was times where I was just sitting waiting on a trip. So unless you're that busy, now there's been days that I've been busy as soon as I turn the app on I turn that motherfucker off. But you're not going to get that consistently. And who wants to work 11 hours every day? I'm 53. I'm 53. No. Working 11 hours doing Uber Eats all day. That's crazy. But if you have a EV, if you have uh, a nice space, um, this should do okay with you. And if you got to be young, man, you got to be young and living with your parents, man. And you living with your mama and them, and they taking care of you. You want to put some little money in your pocket. You want to make some money for a trip. This is perfect. But if you're trying to get a house and move out, everybody in that house needs to be driving Uber Eats and using that EV for the Uber Eats. And it's a side hustle for you guys for some side money because if you have to be out there for 11 or 12 hours a night, that doesn't make sense. Like I said, unless you have an EV. So you got to already have money to make this shit look good now, or a brand new car. And I say car, 6 cylinder or less. You get, and then you don't need a 6 cylinder with twin turbos. I've seen people Ubering in a Mercedes. I've seen people Ubering in the little 6 cylinder twin turbo little cars and shit that'll be out there. I'm like, as soon as they start up, I'm like, that's $7 worth of gas right there. But you have to be smart. You have to look at this as a hustle to make some extra money. Um, but I will say this: if you get, like I said, if you guys ever want to unionize, man, I'm down because if you can make Uber $3, no matter what, Uber should be tipping us as well. Um, if you can make the restaurant $3, no matter what, goes to the driver, the customer gets the tip. Their minimum tip should be $3. So for each trip, it's a $9 hit for you. It makes sense, family. All the money we're saving everybody, all the money and time that we're saving everybody, that is fair. That is fair because I can honestly say, let's take that $3 and bump it up to five. Take that $3 and bump it up to five, and they still are making buku money, and you still do a five. I get some days a $5 tip is like nothing. I'm getting 10, 20, $30 tips. I'm getting $15 tips. I'm getting $7, $8 tips. So average it out. $5 tip, a mandatory $5 tip from everybody. So that's $15 a tip. So now I don't care that $1, that one and two and three and $4 trips now. I make those all day long. Oh man, I don't even have to leave the area that I'm in because now you're not taking these trips from power plant all the way to Ensenada, you know, or Sun City. You're not making those long ass trips like that, going from fucking North Las Vegas all the way to Henderson and Green Valley. You're not making those trips like that because those are the trips that are $10, $15 plus. So now you make everything $5 across the board. You just want some bagels or Starbucks from here. You are tipping me five. You're paying us five, and they're paying us five. That's $15. I can go out $15 a trip and work for 8 hours, make my $300, and I'm done. I'm good. Everybody happy. But until y'all realize that, and I know some people, like I said, some people don't know how to do the math, or some people math ain't mathing because if you're doing $300 in 11 hours, that mean that mean in 5 hours I should be doing 150. But that means I have to have the same amount of trafficking or deliveries that you have for the same price. That does not happen. It doesn't happen, and it changes from day to day. Well, let me see if my last week pops up and see what my earnings look like last week. And see, I don't even know how to look at the damn thing because it's Monday. But last Monday was my best day. And usually Mondays suck. So you never know. And Friday was, I think I did like eight deliveries Friday. Friday was horrible. I was like, yeah, man, it's windy. It's all kind of crazy out here. People driving like, but they driving bad, and then you got to deal with that shit too. Okay, let me going back to the maintenance. So somebody hit my shit. Who gonna pay for it? Somebody hit my shit. Who gonna pay for it? So this is what I'm saying, man. This shit, it's a glorified hustle scam. You can do something with it if you have the right mindset going into it. If you these kids that don't know what money is, they think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, which is cool because they live with mom and daddy. That's cool. But if you're trying to do something else with that, man, like I said, when y'all unionize and y'all see how much money you're saving people, and they understand that we need to be compensated for, because now you're not paying for my insurance, you're not paying for that damage that's on the side of my truck, and that I didn't because it's on the passenger side. I didn't even know it until me and my wife went out one night, and she was like, "What happened to your truck?" I was like, "Ain't nothing happened to my truck." She's like, "Over here on the side." I went around and looked at it and said, "Oh well," because I already had the idea, like, what if something happens to the car? Uber ain't gonna pay for it. The engine breakdown, they damn sure ain't gonna pay for it. If nothing happened, nothing. They have no responsibility in this. So no, $5 a trip. Sh- I went from 3 to 5 already, and we can go even higher because, like I said, you got to look at all the stuff that you're paying for. This is your car, like your insurance, your monthlies. They're not paying for none of that. And if this was their car, like if somebody said, "All right, Edwin, or Uber drivers, here's a car to use," and you go use their car, now they have to pay for all of that stuff. Now I can see them saying, "Here go $1 trip." Well, they're providing you with the transportation, but no, you're providing them with the car. That's the main giddy up. Oh, let's not even talk about this. They use your phone. So it is what it is, family. Like I said, I just wanted to touch on that, give y'all the good, the bad, the ugly about Uber driving, man. And it's cool if woosah. Don't let nobody stress you out. Woosah. But other than that, family, it's just if get you an EV. If you have an EV, you're good. If you have a four-cylinder car, you're good. Right off the rip, you should be seeing a lot more profit than I am because I think what am I now? Oh, I didn't mean to turn it on. I think I don't even know my status, but they keep messing with my rating. My rating was 97, and I guess somebody didn't like something, so it went down to a 95. And I am, what is it, diamond, or the platinum or diamond? I'm one of them. So you see more of an increase of what you can, the money that they give you. But right off the rip, man, if they was hitting you at $5 a pop, everybody would be good. Everybody would be making money. This would be something that somebody could turn into a good side hustle and career. But until that happens, man, if y'all need your boy, man, you got to hit me up as a vice president or president of the Uber of the Uber Union. Y'all have a good one.